Tim, what do you make of the Fiat Cinquecento?
A popular little car actually, very popular for the ladies indeed, very much of a ladies' car. Small, handy, easy to park and cheap to maintain.
Build quality on the Cinquecentos, any problems?
No problem. Contrary to the belief that Fiats are made actually in Italy, is a different kettle of fish with these. These are actually built in Poland, so there's no build quality problems with them at all, no.
Specification, fairly tight, nothing much.
Very bland really, as you find on most of the small cars. They're not heavy on specification. You've got this particular model, which is the 1 litre SX 3-door. It has, this was got a factory fitted sunroof, it's got remote central lock-in, and that's it really, 5-speed and a radio cassette, not a lot more for your money.
Any major problems to look out for?
No, nothing with the Fiat, or personally as a dealership we've not encountered any problems with them at all, no. Because the typical driver of these vehicles obviously do a low mileage, and they're like secondary vehicles, they're like point-to-point cars, so they've not exactly had a hard life, you know, when you find one.
What sort of price was the car new, and what's it worth today, a couple of years later?
That new when it was registered, I mean this particular one is a 1998 on an R, so it's approximately about 18 months old. That was just about £6,600 new. We have this particular model up for about £4,500 and it's just covered 7,000 miles. So about a £2,000 depreciation in 18 months, which actually isn't too bad on that sector of car.
How many models in the range?
There's actually only 3 models in the range. You've got the SX, the Sporting and the S, and that's it.
Immediately you get into the Cinquecento, you immediately notice how different it is in terms of build quality from the other two. Let's face it, it ain't particularly great. Now, Fiat have long been renowned for producing very good small cars. Remember the Fiat 126s? Really good little nippy cars that used to run and run and run until they started to rust, and then things used to go wrong. The Cinquecento is very similar to the 126. It's not got great styling, it's very boxy. It looks very cheap and plasticky inside with lots of metal on the doors still that haven't even been bothered to be covered up. But it doesn't drive too bad. Remember, this is only a 900cc engine. It only produces 41 brake horsepower. The steering ain't up to much, the brakes ain't up to much, but for the money, it's not bad.
The great thing about the Cinquecento is that they're cheap cars both to buy and to run. Even new, they weren't exactly expensive, and on the second-hand market, well, if you look for an early 1993 K-plate 900 or 900S, expect to pay around £2,000. They're also only Insurance Group 2, which is fantastic, particularly if you're young and this is one of your first cars. If you feel the Cinquecento isn't quite in your league, well, try the Seicento from Fiat. That was introduced to replace the Cinquecento in 1998. It's got generally a better build quality. It's more curvier, a bit more stylish as well, and a bit sporting as well. Look out for the 3 models, the S, the SX, and the 1100 Sporting.
There are only 3 models in the Cinquecento range. There's this basic model, there's the SX and the 1.1 Sporting, which gets that slightly bigger 1.1 litre engine, about 10 more brake horsepower. Equipment is fairly basic. You get electric windows in this, you get a radio, you get a heater, which is ideal on a day like this when it's about 90 degrees outside. Now, Fiat have always been renowned for producing really good quality small cars. Remember the Fiat 126. Fun. Not exactly a joy to drive, but great value for money.